Nice job. I like this film a lot.
Thank you very much.
A lot of issues about the film that always interest me, and one is the relationship with the father. Why is the relationship so strained for Homer?
Well, I think that there is the contradiction between the two characters, which is what they both don't see. I think it's the blindness of each other, which is his father, who has his passion for coal mining, whose perseverance lies there, and Homer's passion for rocket building, which he first finds in the movie. And I think it's John's fear that Homer won't succeed, while at the same time John's love of mining and him wanting Homer to be a miner. And then Homer, seeing that his father doesn't understand that makes them constantly bump heads. But it's just it's a blindness in some ways. It's sort of like a metaphoric blindness. And then at the end, they accept each other's passion, which is, I think, what it comes about, which is the resolution.
And it's appropriate way to resolve that too. You know, and bad films would take that and make the father leave, and they'd hate each other the rest of their lives. And good films, people who really do genuinely love each other, work it out eventually or somehow. I
think so. I think also you can sense from Chris Cooper, who is just incredible and intense, and this sort of dark side is luminous, but at the same time you can sense the love, the subtext between the two of them, which is this incredible, unconditional, while at the same time also conditional love between them that sort of plays throughout the whole thing, which makes it even more complex and ambiguous, which is...
I was a kid when Sputnik went up, and I remember going out in the backyard in Portland, Oregon with my father, who was a truck driver, and we watched it go over, and you could see that little dot, and how fascinated we were with it, and fireworks. Do you have a connection with Homer? What's your connection with him?
Well, I think that initial impulse from Homer, that he got that passion, just that drive from seeing Sputnik, I think the passion he has for building rockets, I have for my acting. And so when I tried to create the character, what I tried to do was not only use what I believed him to be and use my own personal experience from situations and passionate experiences, but also look at him, the real person. When I met Homer for the first time, I tried to study him in a way, observe him in fine detail to try and pick up characteristics so that I could develop somebody who was true to the real story, while also at the same time keeping the dramatic intent and content of the story. So I think that my father and my father's a director. He works in the business, and so those experiences we have together are sort of on the stage, or watching a film together, or watching something that touches us both at the same time. So those experiences are very similar to watching Sputnik fly through the air, you know. So
it is real similar. I think a lot of kids feel trapped. They feel trapped in our culture. They might be trapped economically, or where they live, or for whatever reason, they feel trapped. The film has a lot to say about that. What are we saying to kids who feel trapped?
I think that what's being said is that being trapped is an illusion in some ways. That it is hard, especially economically. I think it's harder to get out of, say, inner cities or even small towns. But in the end, I think that what it's saying is that passion and perseverance and the love of what you do, in the end, regardless of, I think, even the fact that you may succeed externally, internally, in connections with human beings, and the love between human beings are the most important in your life, that's where you will succeed. Because I think in the end, what is prominent is, yes, that Homer becomes a NASA scientist, and yes, he fulfills that dream of building rockets, but even more, it's the metaphor between the people who supported him and himself that make this movie, I think, hopefully special. And that's the most fascinating part.
Your character does something really great in that he sticks up for himself and what he believes without being condescending to all the people who want to remain miners or are miners. In fact, celebrates them. And that's really hard to do. It's a very mature thing.
Well, I think it is. I think that in terms of coal mining, being down in the mine for even a little while, and it wasn't even a real mine at that, it is an honorable, and if you're passionate about that, it is an honorable job and experience. I mean, there are people who are coordinators when we were doing it, who were telling us what to do and how to do it. And there is an art in coal mining, just as there is, and a technique, just as there is an art and a technique in acting, or just as there's an art and a technique in building rockets. We're all saying the same thing in a different way, and I think that's hopefully why people can relate to it. So.
Very nice. Proud of you. Very good film.
Much.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.